$100,000 or couples making more than $160,000 won't receive a check. Now, according to one estimate, that's 7 million fewer families than in the original bill. Biden gave in to the demands that the relief should be narrowly targeted because he cannot afford to lose a single Democratic vote since no Republicans are expected to back the bill. Hoda and Savannah.
But Kristen, how does this affect the timeline then of final passage?
Well, Savannah, look, preliminary votes are going to start today, and it has a good chance of passing both chambers, but only if, and I stress this point, only if there are no other major.
At $80,000, above that, you won't get anything. If you're a married couple that files jointly, you will get $2,800 total. The big change this year is kids. If you have kids of any age, not just under 16, you'll be eligible for $1,400 per.
Sanders took to the Senate floor and pummeled legislation, which the Democratic leaders and Joe Biden agreed to pass in an effort to secure Manchin's vote for the Inflation Reduction Act last month. Winning Manchin's support was crucial for the party to advance a slimmed-down version of Biden's economic agenda. Progressive Democrats have fervently pushed back against the inclusion of the reforms, arguing they gave the oil industry a boost when the country should be investing in renewable energy. The inclusion of permitting changes reflects a disastrous side deal between Manchin and Democratic leadership. Sanders said adding the reforms in our position with the energy policy the U.S. is pursuing should be happening. And when asked about his announcement, Sanders said at a time when climate change is threatening the very existence of our planet, why would anyone be taking or talking about substantially increasing carbon emissions and fossil fuel production? He also warned of a revolt. Bernie Sanders warned of a revolt against House Democrats, saying at least 59 Democratic lawmakers would release a letter stating their opposition to the deal. And Manchin defended his opposition, and his position on this, noting that the Inflation Reduction Act included funding for several kinds of clean energy projects. Still, the senator from West Virginia argued that increased energy production from fossil fuels is needed to address more pressing energy demands. More relief has been approved for low-income households, SSI and SSDI. The IRS released new information on bonus relief checks. Many people are waiting to get an extra payment from the IRS, as long as they meet the new eligibility requirement. The IRS estimates it will refund more than $1 billion in failure to file penalties to around 1 million taxpayers. Most refunds will go by the end of September. The tax agency announced last month that it would give money back to fire taxpayers for failing to pay back their taxes on time during the first 2 years of the crisis. Chuck Reddick announced that the penalty relief issued today is yet another way the agency is supporting people during this time. The IRS said issuing the refunds would also allow the agency to focus its resources on processing backlogged tax returns and taxpayer correspondence ahead of the 2023 tax filing season. Taxpayers who file for or typically charged a penalty of 5% of what they owe a month, up to a maximum of 25% of their unpaid tax bill. According to ABC News, there is no need to contact the IRS to ask for your money back. The IRS says the refunds will be sent automatically. Taxpayers who were issued a late filing fee but never paid it will have to change and charge to remove it. But failure to pay for penalties are not eligible for refund. The IRS has said that the vast majority of refunds will be sent via check, while a percentage of taxpayers will receive their refunds through direct deposit. In order to qualify for a refund under the program, individuals and businesses have to have filed their late 2019 and 2020 tax returns on or before September 30th. The Taxpayer Advocate Service is urging taxpayers to file electronically, and Manchin has also criticized Joe Biden's student forgiveness plan, arguing there are other ways to support student borrowers. Manchin said the plan is excessive. Millions of people are actually eligible to receive a stimulus check that they may have not received. The IRS has announced that some money will be sent out to people very, very soon. And according to the U.S. Department of Treasury, a report that was published showed that almost 645,000 people who were eligible for the third round of stimulus checks had not gotten their payments since mid September. The American Rescue Plan authorized the federal government to send up to $1,400 for each person who qualified for this check. The money was technically an advance payment of a tax credit, the recovery pay credit, and that households can claim on their 2021 income tax return. The report states that the IRS had correctly issued payments to nearly 167 million people as of September 16, 2021, which is almost 99.5% of the total. But the Treasury identified around 644,000 people who had not gotten a payment within that time frame. That's bad news. The missing funds totaled around $1.6 billion, and an additional 294,000 people have been issued stimulus payments by the federal government, but the arrival of those checks was somehow delayed or the funds had not yet been accessed. The number of people affected who have gotten a payment as of mid-September is still unclear, folks. And so, President Biden said, the IRS is going to do some things for this. Is going to do some things on this. In response to a new report to Kenneth, the Commissioner of the IRS, Wage and Investment Division, told reporters delivering these payments was no small undertaking, and employees in various IRS offices collaborated to improve delivery of payments each of the 3 times that Congress passed stimulus legislation. So about a third amount of checks started going out the next day, providing immediate help to people across the country. Americans who didn't receive stimulus funds include many with eligible dependents. Some recipients of unemployment benefits should also have been eligible for a check after the IRS applied a new tax break. That tax break effectively reduced their income below the necessary threshold to get a stimulus check. But it's likely that many of these individuals have gotten their stimulus funds since the middle of September. For instance, there were almost 420,000 people who had now received a $1,400 check for an eligible dependent as of April 1st, 2021, which the IRS acknowledged was due to a programming error. But the agency fixed the error by April 22, and 9.5% were being considered for a payment as of September. The Treasury watchdog also recommended the IRS issue payments to qualifying recipients of unemployment benefits, but the IRS disagreed with that. Probably the most common worry is that you're going to need to pay back stimulus money because your income was too high. The stimulus checks all had income limits attached, and the IRS calculated how much to send based on your most recent tax returns at the time. There are some situations where a stimulus bill or overpayment may result in a larger tax bill. Now, they don't apply to most people, but it's good to know about them, just in case any of them apply to you. Now, parents of children were able to receive additional stimulus money through the child tax credit, and the IRS used info from 2020 tax returns to calculate how much to send parents. If anything changed in 2021, that will lower their credit amount that you qualify for, and you may have received an overpayment. Folks, you definitely want to find out more information about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI, and SSDI.
Chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Ohio, Ms. Brown, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, access to affordable, high-quality internet is not a privilege in today's day and age. It is a necessity and a right. Yet, the sad truth is that too many families in my district and across America simply cannot afford it. In Cleveland, more than 30% of all households lack access to high-speed internet. That is why the bipartisan infrastructure law created the new Affordable Connectivity Program. The program provides a $30 per month internet discount to Americans whose household income is at or below twice the federal poverty level, or those enrolled in SNAP, Medicaid, supplemental security income, or a number of other programs, making them